What's up, y'all? Got a banger from Men Only. Let's get straight into it.
Isn't it kind of ironic when an ex blocks you on Instagram and you're like, oh, wait, so you are capable of blocking your ex-girlfriends on Instagram?
Stupid.
I don't care what anyone says. Men and women cannot be friends.
I agree with this.
They just can't. They can't. And if you're like, no, they can. Me and my best friend have been friends for ages. Yeah, that's because that's either a 1 in a million friendship or you're just not pretty enough. I'm sorry.
Facts. I like this girl. I like this girl.
It's the truth though. Why is it that every time I think I have successfully made a guy friend that I can share my life experiences with and I can have there for me, they confess their love? I can't. I genuinely
Call them on deck dudes. They're just waiting for their shot.
No, I can't deal with this anymore. I was planning to be your friend for years, but now you ruined it. Why'd you have to ruin it? Do relationships last? No, they don't. So why are you ruining our friendship? Just because we're friends doesn't mean that I don't love you, bro. Why do you have to make it romantic?
Men and women.
Because men and women can't be friends. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Men and women can't be friends. The only way it works is if the chick is ugly. If y'all are both good looking, boom, you get together. If y'all are both beat, boom, you get together. And if the guy's good looking and the girl's beat, she's probably still gonna want something out of it. And if the girl's good looking and the guy's beat, he definitely gonna want something out of it. So really the only time it ever works is if the girl's beat. But the thing is, men, we ain't friends with ugly girls. It's not a thing. Chat, do you know anybody that is friends with, like, one of your good-looking guy friends? Do you know any of them that are friends with girls? Doubt it, especially the good-looking guys. Like, why would they be friends with an ugly chick? Like, bro, you wasting my time. You wasting my time.
Tell me, you can look people up on ChatGPT. You can literally AI him. So ladies, the day stalking Instagram is over. No more rifling through, like, this tagged and, like, all that stuff.
Why aren't you dating? Why aren't you out meeting people? Well,
because you're not fit. Shots fired. You're not fit for a relationship. Your personality's trash. There's got to be something wrong with you.
Because I am stuck in a town where everybody has kind of been with everybody.
Well, that means that you fall into that group of people. This is the phenomenon I see a lot of women that live in small towns where they think they are better than the people that live in this small town. They think, oh, I'm better than them. There's no way they're on my level. I'm better than them. No, boo-boo, you're a part of them. You're in that same group. You chose to stay there. Therefore, that's your people. And that's just a cop-out. Everybody's been with everybody. Like, stop.
Stop the cap.
No, that's not the case. There's no way that's actual reality.
So, I don't really want to join in on the love triangle that is going on around here.
Okay, then buy a dog and die alone.
Shots fired.
I got myself into one before, and so that didn't work out very well, if you can't tell. So
we can tell. It looks like you living in your grandma's house.
Also, if I date outside of this town, then I would have to do like a long distance relationship. A lot of people can't do those because I can't really go anywhere. My children's father decided to reside here.
Single mom.
I was about to say, I think I hear some kiddos in the back.
So, for convenient reasons, I moved here as well.
You should have stayed with your man.
So, yeah, the dating life is not for me. I'd rather just be alone and enjoy the time that I do have with my children at this age.
But yet you're making TikToks, not spending time with your kids? Huh?
And I want to end with being an adult is ghetto. We're in the trenches. It's just ghetto around here.
Baby girl. Nothing about your existence is ghetto. Nothing at all.
Oh, so.
And I love how they throw that term around like that's, like, good Lord. The inherent racism in that comment, coming from a guy who's in a interracial relationship. That's so disrespectful to call it ghetto.
I don't want to hear this because I didn't want to realize it. When girls, I was included in this. I've actually made content on the opposing side that I'm about to advocate for right now. But when girls say that guys shouldn't have social media or they shouldn't post on socials, it's a projection. We know the attention we get from other people when we post. So we're like, why would you be doing that? We know that we waste a lot of time on it looking at things that aren't really productive or just helpful in general. And due to what we know about socials and our own utilization of it, we're like, yeah, no, you shouldn't. And we'll make jokes, I included at one point, like, you should be building a home or like working, but we're claiming that we're using it for entertainment purposes. A lot of us, not some of us aren't working on here.
Nah, dude, social media is brain rot. You really have to be targeted on the content that you consume, because if you don't, it's going to consume you.
So if we advocate for us to be able to, unfortunately, then we should stop hating on them for doing the same.
Yeah, I agree. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you know somebody that literally just scrolls mindlessly and just consumes a bunch of brain rot. And the thing is, a lot of people are very weak-minded. And I heard a quote the other day. I may have said this on a previous episode, but I think people that are easily offended are easily manipulated. Like, if you're willing to see a post online and let that offend you, like, you're so easily manipulated, no wonder you believe the news. No wonder you believe everything you see online. No wonder you see a story or a hit piece or something and you're like, oh my God, that's holy script. That's exactly what it is. Like, do your own research. Just because somebody put it on Twitter don't mean it's facts.
Ever thought that maybe, just maybe, your husband is 5'7"? Because this whole thing, like, oh, a dude needs to be over 6 feet and he's got to make over 6 figures and da-da-da-da-da. Do you understand the statistic of that? Like, do you know?
Yeah, it's a 1% of men. Good luck, honey. And the thing is if he's good enough for you, he's good enough for a few. Shiba and Anaya put it on a t-shirt.
I don't even know what the statistic is of that, but it's not a lot of men are over 6 feet and make over 6 figures. Like, your husband might be 2 inches taller than you, but the best man in the entire world. The most caring and protective and loving and generous man. A man who is not afraid to get down on one knee. A man who is not afraid to be a good daddy to some babies. A man who will help you in life. Not a man who is 6'4" and thinks that he is God's gift to fucking earth. Because honestly, us on the internet have made them feel like they are special just because they're tall. Because straight up girl like that was me for a long time.
Well, I mean, isn't that true though? If we are tall, that does make us special because it's like less than 1% of men. What is it like? I think it's like 14% of men globally are over 6 foot. That does technically make us special, I guess.
I was like, no, he needs to look like this, needs to be like that. And you want to know what? A lot of those guys have ego. Not that the short guys don't, but let's just put it this way. If something is going to get to a man's head, it's going to get to his head. So don't let a man's height block you from finding your fucking husband, bitch.
Oh, so now
I love it. Single women giving other single women advice. And misery loves company. Loki, I see you back there seeing me, bruh. I see you back there seeing me. That's what I don't get, but they all want the mark of the beast. 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 inches. Other women want him. I actually came up with something the other day. I was watching some Kevin Samuels, and he talked about like what technically is a high value man. I'm going to try to remember the 5 things he talked about, but number 1, you need to have not a net worth, but you need to make over 6 figures for at least 5 years consecutively. So that's $120,000 a year, usually $10,000 a month for 5 years, at least 5 years, right? Number 2, you need to have a network of other high value men. Number 3, you need to be seen as a peer of these men and be able to provide value to these men, and they see you as a value or an asset to the community. What was number 4? God, it's on my phone. You need to be visible, like LinkedIn level visible. So you could be an entrepreneur, but if you're not like LinkedIn level visible, like if someone can't Google your name or find you on LinkedIn, that's part of it. And then, God, I can't remember the other one. But yeah, it's like around those things. So like the whole 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 inches, that does tie into it. And I've talked about this before. Most women want the mark of the beast, 6 foot, 6 pack, 6 inches, 6 figures. And then other women want him. Most women want that because women are hypergamous. They don't want to just be with the only guy. They don't want to be with the guy that other women don't want. They want to know, oh, I got the guy that other women want because they want to feel special. But Loki, free, sit. Can we get some freeze in the chat? Free. Go to your place. Because women are hypergamous. They want to know they got the best. Man, you guys are getting a whole bunch of tookus today. You ate that one fast. Okay, you want one more? Free. Sit. Wait. Can we get some freeze in the chat? Free. Go to your place. He pretty much has it eaten by the time he even gets back to his place. This man is such a glutton. Lay down. Good boy.
wrong with being a gold digger. Do people really expect women to look for someone without money? Because let's be real, men have been strategic in choosing their partners forever. They want beauty, youth, someone who makes their life easier. But the second a woman says she wants financial security, suddenly she is seen as shallow. As a divorce lawyer, I've seen what happens when women don't make financial stability a priority in choosing their future husband. Love does not pay the bills, and love will not save you when your marriage falls apart. I recently learned what hypergamy means, and it means dating up. Hypergamy is not about being a gold digger. It is about not settling for struggle. It is about making choices that protect your future. Because let's be honest, no woman has ever said, I wish I struggled more in my relationship. And the people who scream the loudest about women being gold diggers are usually the ones who benefit the most from women settling. Choosing financial stability is not the problem, but expecting women to struggle is.
So now, being a
I mean, it's kind of, I mean, she's a divorce lawyer, so she's probably single. Once again, advice from a single woman. I always say don't take advice from people unless you kind of trade lives with them in that certain aspect. So, I'm not going to take bodybuilding advice from somebody who's got really thin arms and is not built. I'm not going to take, teeth advice or hygiene advice from somebody who's dirty. So if this lady's not in a relationship, I get it. She sees the worst of the worst. Now, financial stability is a thing, but the thing is a woman and a man can work together to create this financial stability, right? This is why I talk about the two things that you can do, right? You can be a peasant, she can be a peasant, you can meet each other, you can build the kingdom together, you can reap the rewards of this kingdom. You be a king, she's a queen. Boom, awesome, great. You guys work together, you built it. Or ladies, you can put financial stability or gold digging at the forefront of your preferences, and therefore you go find a king, and then he's going to share you amongst his concubines, and then you're just merely a princess. Don't expect him to be monogamous to you if he went out and earned everything on his own, on his own fruition, in his own regard, and feel like you are entitled to some of his things. You and every other girl's entitled to some of his things, I guess, so he can share the wealth as much as he wants to. But most ladies right now wouldn't pick a peasant to go build with. They would pick a guy who, is a king already, but then they don't want to share him. It's like, you don't get both.
Being in my early 30s, maybe it's the political and economic climate. Maybe it's living in
It's the patriarchy. No, it's the patriarchy, honey.
New York City. But I have lost so much interest in dating and finding a partner. I do believe my partner, he will stumble into my life. It's not something that I need to go searching for.
I love this philosophy of he'll just fall into my life. That's like saying, good Lord. That's like saying your dream job is just going to stumble in your lap. You don't have to work hard for it. You don't have to be strategic. You don't have to have a plan. You don't have to have structure, routine. You don't have to do the prerequisites. You don't have to look in certain places. You don't have to work hard for it. It'll just happen. It'll just happen. Do you realize how ridiculous this sounds? You want the man of your dreams or a guy that's going to be an amazing fit for you, but you don't have to work for it at all? When's the last time you guys just stumbled upon a whole bunch of money? Don't worry, I'll wait. When's the last time it happened? You just checked your checking account and you had an extra 50 grand. It just stumbled in there. It just fell. It doesn't work like that, bro. And so you ladies think you're going to find a loving relationship without putting in any effort or any work. Like, come on. You got to be Delulu's. You got to be working overtime at Delululemon. I can tell by her threads, she's probably not working at Delululemon, maybe Urban Outfitters. But even then, like, ladies, you got to put in work for these men. You got to show up. You got to be in the right places. And you got to be feminine. Fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, no kids. You got to be quaint, uplifting, elegant, empathetic, natural, and nurturing. If you're not those things, men are going to see you, but they're not going to really notice you. But then there's three things that men look for. Your looks gets our attention, your personality keeps our attention, and your character is what makes us fall in love with you. If you're missing two of the three things there, and the third one, all you have is looks, and some of you women ain't even got that, but if you're missing those two things, more than likely you're not going to get a guy of high value. You're going to attract what you are. That's why I always say life is a mirror, not a window. More than likely, these ladies have been approached by men that are on their level playing field, but they think they are above them. Therefore, they don't give them the time of day. You're telling me this woman right here has gone through life and never got the attention of a man? What?
stupid.
You've definitely got the attention of a man. She's got the blue eyes, the long hair. There's a ton of men that probably approach her, but she thinks she's better than these men. See, that's the problem. You ladies have an inflated sense of self, an inflated sense of ego. Therefore, you think you're better than every man on the market, when in reality, you attract what you are.
Obviously, you do need to put yourself out there. That's never been an issue for me as an extrovert. But I just have noticed my mindset has really flipped, and it is so hard for me to even leave space for dating and romance currently. And it's not because I'm cynical, and it's not because
You're mad that men don't want to be with you, but you just said you don't even have, like, what?
I don't believe that all men are bad. I'm very lucky to have amazing examples of men in my life who I do trust and love, but something in me is so motivated to become astronomically financially independent.
She's been sold the lie of the modern woman, that your career matters the most and that nothing else should matter but your career. The thing is, most of the time, you ladies don't even have a career for real. You work a regular job. You got a regular title. In my opinion, a career is something that has upward mobility where you can start here and end there. Like you can be an account executive, and then you can be an enterprise account executive, then you can be a sales manager, then you can be a VP of sales, then you can be a CFO, a CTO, like you can move up the ranks. A lot of you ladies just work in marketing, and that's really all you want to do. You want to make PowerPoint presentations. That's not really a career. That's a job.
It just feels like if a man showed up today and let's say he's the dream package, the look, he's kind, he's smart, he's caring, like all of my boxes checked. I still think if I was on my deathbed and didn't accomplish these like extreme big dreams I have for myself,
she's just been brainwashed.
I will be sad. And what am I?
Well, that's also so dumb. You on your deathbed, you only regret the things you didn't do, not the things you did do. I mean, chat, do you agree with that? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Like when I was talking to my grandfather when he was out the door, when he was, knocking on heaven's door, when he was, pretty much bedridden in his 80s, I asked him, I was like, what's some advice that you have for me? And he basically told me, he's like, go out there and do the things you want to do. But he's like, I wish I would have spent more time with you. I wish I would have spent more time with my kids. I wish I would have worked less. I wish I would have prioritized family more. I wish I would have held more family get-togethers. Those are the things that he regretted, not the things that he did do. It was the things he didn't do that he regretted.
My big dreams is to get married and have a family, but certain career markers, and it's not the external. It's not chasing validation from other people. It's just actually stepping into.
No, it's exactly that.
Who I really want to be and what I want to share in this world. I don't know if does this make any sense?
No.
It's just so hard for me to imagine right now. It started since like the beginning of 2025. Just like no interest in being romantic, no interest in meeting new guys, and every day.
Yeah, because you're turning into the men you've always wanted to be with. These modern women just turn out to be more masculine than feminine. That's why they prioritize a job. They've fallen in love with being like a man. It's crazy.
I have gone on. They've been fine, just like fine. I feel like the apathy in that section of my life is very clear, and I'm just excited to kind of like build this life on my own, and like I don't have a doubt that the more full my life is, he's just gonna arrive and I don't have to chase after it. Does this resonate with anyone, please?
No, it doesn't. You sound delulu. You sound very delulu. The thing is, when women get older, because let's say you asked a mom right now, I wish we had a mom here to ask, I would just ask her, would you give up your kids for your career, or would you give up your career for your kids? Chat, put in the chat what you think. Put in the comments what you think that woman would say. More than likely, she'd say, I'd give up my job and my career every day of the week for my children. So that's pure proof right there that your family matters more. These women really think that a job matters more than family. It doesn't. You can sit there and think it does because you've been brainwashed and you have no other options, and I think that's really where this girl's at. She has no other options. Of course she thinks that her job and her career is the best thing in her life. But the thing is, she's going to be 80 years old. She's going to have no kids. All her friends are going to be gone or have families. And she's going to be alone. She's going to be very lonely. And she probably will wish that she started a family to have people around you, because as we get older, we isolate even more. People have kids. They prioritize their children's lives, as you should, right? I just don't get where we get lost in the sauce of where family doesn't matter anymore. Everybody thinks a job matters so much. No, family matters. Relationship matters. I think that's the meaning of life. Building meaningful relationships. We're better together, and together we're better. Like, having things is cool, but the thing is, you don't see a U-Haul in the back of a hearse. You can't take this stuff with you. Nobody cares about all the little plaques you got from your little marketing job on the wall. Nobody really cares about that. You know what they care about? The legacy that you left behind, all the children you had, all the lives you impacted, all the grandchildren and kids you have. Like, it was such a fulfilling feeling when my grandmother was also knocking on heaven's door. R.I.P., she died a few years ago. But it was the most beautiful moment when we had her 90th birthday party. And there was about 40 people in the room. And everybody had been touched by this woman. She had either had this child, or it was a cousin, or it was a niece or a nephew or a grandson or granddaughter. Like, we all essentially came from this one woman, because she's had 4 kids, and then those 4 kids had kids, and then they had kids. And it was like 30, 40 people in one room, all from this one woman. That was beautiful. Not the fact that she was a nurse. Nobody really cared. Her value as a woman was the life that she created and the legacy that her and my grandfather left behind. I mean, Chad, am I way off base here? I feel like I'm hitting the nail on the head, though. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to cop the 2 ebooks, The 4 Pillars of Personality and The 4 Steps to Style, that make you irresistible to women and respected by men. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Loki, did you have a good time today? Loki, all the way on your place. Thank you, sir.